In here, you're given a question on Google Sheets that asks you to determine or develop a stacked bar graph, and these here are the data that is provided where the devices includes the following, and they are involved in the smartphone, tablet, and computer, and daily screen hours in terms of time is going to be for smartphone 2.5, for tablet 1.5, and from computer you have 1.5. Now to develop this, first step is to develop a table of values for the data that is collected above, and to accomplish that, pick a specific cell and just put in the information right here. First of all, the title here is devices, and we are going to hit tab, and that moves on to the next cell beside it, and you're going to label this. And finally, for putting our result for the daily time or screen time in hours, what we are going to do is to put in the numbers next below. Now in here, once we have this information, you might be wondering, hey, let's develop our graph by doing the following. First of all, we of course hold the mouse and drag to the last information here, and then you go on to your insert where you find charts, and you're going to get a pre-result that is like this. But here, take note that this here is form of a pie chart. So what we do is that on the right side of the screen, you have editor chart, and you can have the setup or you can have a customize as the options. In here for setup, we're going to change the type of the chart to a stacked bar chart, and in here it says that it is 100% stacked column chart. Once you click on this, this is what we have right here. So the problem here is that the information are separated in form of a bar chart, but we want stacked where the data for smartphone is going to be on top of tablets and computer, and they'll be color coded. So in order for we to accomplish that, and now what you notice is that in this particular part here, it says that then when you click on this, there we go, unclick on that in terms of switch row per column, that results in just using row 13 as a header. And so what that results in is you have your staggered that is showing it out of 100%, where we have in terms of computer use, this is how much information that is going to be generated as 0.5, but in percent 1.5, and this is how much it is in terms of percent. And finally for smartphone, we have this particular amount in terms of the bar. So this is how you create a stacked plot in here. Now other honorable mentions is in terms of determining the percentages for each amount of the bar on the stacked bar. What you do is just hover around and it tells you how much it is for computer, 11.1%. For the red, which is tablet, we have 33.3%, and for the smartphone you have in this case 55.6%. In addition to that, you can change the color of the specific bar of your choice by double clicking on the specific bar on the stacked bar, and you can change the specific customizing by clicking on series and then go to your fill color, and you can choose whatever color that you want. If you want to go with green, that also changes as well based on the legend, so that is fantastic to keep in mind. And let's go back to the other color that was used, in this case that's orange, and that is good as well in here. So other things as well to keep in mind is in terms of for customize, when you click on chart and axis titles, when you click on the drop down, you have the option to either edit the title text here, or you can do it right here on this particular chart. And so the only thing here that is missing is by devices, and so once you have that introduced, this feels more complete. You have the chart title, you have your title for your y-axis, which is in hours, but you can just put here in percent because in here we're dealing with percent. So what we do is we edit these and we go by erasing that and type in here in percent, And so what you can have now is something that's more representative of the daily screen time on the chart to these particular devices that is going to be on your legend. And so that is something to keep in mind. Now let's say we want to see the differences between setting up in terms of the devices to be in a specific role alongside the daily screen time versus when you have them on the column. And so when we set this up in terms of for the row first and seeing what that gives us in terms of the graph, we see that when it is produced in terms of changing these to hours staggered, and most importantly what we do is we unclick this to reveal what is going on here, versus when we go into the other format which involves we looking at it based on the column and seeing what the result is going to be by clicking on insert and clicking on charts to see what result is generated. We see quite some interesting differences here. One difference to keep in mind is that the following, when this was generated first, it gave us our pie chart, and then we had to scroll into the type of charts. However, for the one that involves column, we see that it gives us the column chart first. And so what we can do is to put it in terms of the stacked 100% to see what that gives us. Now, having this now revealed, what we have next is to unclick some things to reveal what is going to be our result. We click on switch role per columns, and so what we have here is this that is generated quite similar with what we have above over here, but the big difference here is that for the first one, which involves our row setup, we have a title to not be a great representation of the situation right here. However, our ones that are set up in columns rightly matches the title that is a great representation of the scenario over here. Now, these are the things to keep in mind. The other things here that we can do is change the title of your y-axis by introducing percentage in there as the time, and that is it in here. So I hope you found this really informative in terms of developing a stacked bar chart, by most importantly being able to recognize how to edit by using the following features here that involves not only the setup where we can unclick and check some things out here, most importantly for the role and column per column, alongside what we have over here in terms of not clicking it at all based on how we set it up, and most importantly looking at how we can customize it to best fit in terms of the legend, the colors, alongside maybe most importantly some of the titles that is needed for you to have a good representation of your chart. So please hit a comment down below. Let me hear your thought about this. Either way, we can talk to you soon. Stay smart as always and believe in yourself.